Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glenn Sutherland.
Welcome to another episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. This week, my guests are Ajami and Brent Green. You probably recognize their faces. They have been on the show several times before, and they're on my accounting team in the U.S. Guys, let's start by giving a quick introduction about who you are, some background, and then we'll jump into the topic.
I'll let Ali go first.
Sure. My name is I'm Ajami, co-founder here at Global Tax Services.
First in the alphabet.
Yes, sir. We've been partners since 2018. Got this firm established and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I'm Brent Green. My background is a 20 plus years CPA. Worked for a lot of big firms. My background is in business taxes and that sort of thing. And I've been doing non-resident taxation since about 2010. So
a lot of experience here. Cool. So with this timely part of the year, we're just starting the year. I am going to be submitting a whole pile of junk to you, and I'm sure you prefer not to get a shoebox in the mail. What can I do to make your life easier for this end of the year?
Well, there's a couple of things you could do.
Yeah.
You could get it. You could either get us statements from your properties. If there's any like expenses that aren't included in the statements, we'll need those. So if you have property tax bills that you paid outside the scope of your, property manager,
yeah.
Any professional fees you paid or insurance, anything like that, just make sure that we have everything. I mean, if you wanted to be nice, you could put it all in a spreadsheet for us, but we do that anyway.
And break it down.
That's what I usually do, but I'm open to sending you guys the property management statements too.
Yep.
But no, I usually break it down. I don't know if you guys even went over this yet, but like, is there stuff that I'm missing in my sheets? I think when we were talking last year, there was something we could add. Okay, I can cut this out if this isn't.
No, I mean, a lot of times people don't. The year is long. You forget stuff. You think that, oh, that happened the year before, that didn't happen. It's like, but anytime you A, purchased a property or B, sold a property, we're going to need the documents for that. We'll probably need to look at if you have an entity like a partnership or a corporation, you probably want to see your bank statements just in case we missed something.
That's a good idea. I actually don't usually send you the bank statements, so maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, because there's stuff that you guys forget, and we may see, hey, what's this? Oh, I forgot about that. Anytime you do any rehab or anything like that, a lot of times people, they don't understand the difference between a repair and a rehab.
We can go into that briefly.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times a repair is a repair. Even if you repair a roof, you repair a roof. But if you replace a roof, that's different. You tear it off and put a new one on, that's different. If you put in appliances, that's different than putting in, than redoing an entire interior of a building.
Right.
So a lot of times those things need to be capitalized. You can break them down too, because there's a different tax lives depending on what you did. If you can clearly define that something's a 5-year property or a 7-year property, you can take, accelerated depreciation on that. That can help you. You can play with it too. We can decide not to take it and defer to prior years. It just gives us an idea, a little bit better idea to help you plan. So that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I guess it depends your situation, but ideally repairs are better than a renovation just because you have more options of what you can do with it, right?
It's a direct write-off.
Yeah, direct write-off. Or you could still take your repairs, and if you didn't need them, and go back with them as well. Maybe maybe not.
You're not really supposed to do
okay,
that.
all right. I'm just spitballing. All right. Yeah. So end of the year, we need to get all of this stuff. I know that a lot of paperwork, like I'm not good with form names, but ones that are the property managers will give us, they won't come out for months. When should we be getting this stuff to you right away, or should we wait until we have everything to get it in?
Yeah, we rather you have everything, just so everything is sent all at once, and then full throttle from there. We'll go ahead, start on your return. If we have any other questions, reach out and we can finalize, instead of getting bits and pieces and, then having to wait for more information come down the road. Your best bet would be all together, but also be aware of the tax deadlines with businesses, specifically partnerships, which majority of Canadians are in. The tax deadline is March 15th, with a 6-month extension taking it to September 15th. Remember, extensions are extension to file, not extension to pay. So if you owe while filing an extension, you got to go ahead and make that payment, or you will be penalized.
What about the people who've lent me private money during the year? I hear lots of words about K1s. How does that work?
Well, you should be issuing some sort of form to them.
Do you do that at the start, or you do that afterwards?
Do that at the end of the year, end of
Okay.
each year, beginning of the next year. You need to give them a form, 1042S if it's a foreign person, or 1099 if it's a U.S. person.
All right.
So because they're going to have to report that on their taxes. Now, it may or may not be taxable, might be portfolio interest, that sort of thing, but more than likely taxable. So they'll have to report that interest that they got.
Okay.
And
So
1042Ss are due March 15th. 1099s are due the 31st of January.
okay.
They have to go to the IRS.
Going to the IRS. Yep.
So what if somebody lent me money and then I send them the form and they don't fill it out? Am I liable for their taxes, or is it still on them?
Well, technically you're liable,
Okay.
but yeah, you need to. They're supposed to send you a W-8 ECI, a W-8 of some kind, saying this is who I am. There's my tax ID number, or if they're 1099, they'll have a tax ID number. So they should be. If they're going to borrow money, lend money to somebody, they're going to have to report on their taxes. So they need to get an ID.
Yep. Okay. All right. I might need to get some forms from you guys.
If I went to Canada and wanted to do business there, I'd have to get I'm sure I'd have to get a Canadian tax ID.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or I don't know how it works going the other way. Probably an ITIN would work both directions, I'm guessing. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else I should ask you about end of the year? What you guys need? What you guys looking for? How to make life easier?
It's useful, like Ali said, get everything together. Sending stuff piecemeal, it's difficult. Now we're working on a portal system. I don't know if we quite got it yet, but you can upload stuff to. We'll give you, contact us. We'll give you our portal ID. You can upload everything, but to stop and start a return.
Yeah.
First of all, there's room for error because you can't remember where you started, and
Right.
2, it's just not efficient.
Yeah.
So gather everything together as much as you can. Ask us if we're missing something. What else do we need? And kind of give it all to us as much as possible at once. It's just a lot better situation than trying to do piecemeal. I've learned a long time ago not to start a return until I have pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, where did I start? Where did I stop? It's
Cool.
terrible when if you're doing one return, it's different. We do a few hundred returns. So
Yeah. But when you say like a whole, like an entity, like that could be one return. And you may not have all of my entities. Like you might just have
Correct.
one of them and complete that.
But I'm not even going to start your entity return until I have pretty much everything for that entity.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot more sense. Because I know that now that I'm working with a lot of different partners, that different CPAs who are going to get entity, you're going to do the original entity stuff, and then it's going to go to other people's personals because everyone has their own way of doing stuff.
Well, there's people that have 4 3 or 4 tiered partnerships and stuff. And they're
Yeah.
the people at the back end they're the tail that wags the dog at the end, and they get their stuff. I used to work for a big firm, and we had some big returns, and we would get the K1s for those people, like a week before the return was due, and it's extension deadline. Like, come on, guys, you can't do it a little sooner than that? Help us out a little bit.
Well, from my personal situation, I usually have everything done in January. The problem is I have one syndication, whatever the paperwork they give us, I can't think what that form is. That always seems to come in like March, like the day before the deadline.
Yeah, Dave, that's the way it goes.
It's the same thing every year with them.
Yeah, we do the best we can. We realize that
Yeah.
March 15th particularly is a scramble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the 2 weeks before that, we just we camp out. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's been a bunch of big changes going on at Global Tax Services. Maybe let's go over them, let people know what different things are going on there recently.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, we just recently, as recent as 2 months ago, purchased a company called Stateside APM. It's pretty much, in a nutshell, investor care relations for investors like yourself that are coming to invest in the United States. They need their entities structured. Registered agents. We are the registered agent. We assist with bank accounts here in the US, which a lot of foreigners have hard times opening up bank accounts because they can't come into the US, or just in general have a hard time. So we assist them. We pretty much walk them through it. And then the most exciting part of the division is our insurance side, which Brent could elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah, we hold policies with almost directly, a lot of times directly with the carriers.
Okay.
Lloyd's and some of these other big firms, or the direct brokers right underneath them instead of the sixth broker underneath them. So we're able to get pretty good rates and really solid insurance, and they have a really good program and setup for the administration. It's very simple through the website. We have a great person that handles that in our office who's just amazing. So it makes it as easy as possible to do an application, do a cancellation, claims administration is much easier. So we're able to offer pretty good rates because of our large number of properties that are under our policies. We have 9 different policies. So we could insure you in pretty much every state at this point. So
that's excellent. So it looks like the acquisition was to make yourself like a one-stop shop. So someone going into the United States, especially a Canadian in my situation, they have to be able to find a bank account, insurance, whatever else they needed, like to the entity set up. I'm probably missing a whole bunch of stuff, but if you've created yourself a one-stop shop by acquiring that other company.
it's very complimentary to us. We're still ironing out the details on all the personnel stuff and all that, of course, but we're getting it, getting our cultures merged together, and we just want to give great service and help people out as much as possible and grow the business. We work with people in over 40 countries. Stateside, I think they have templates in 5 different languages. So they're able to do Spanish, French, was it Arabic, right?
Arabic.
Hebrew.
And
Is there anything else? I think that's it.
That's it.
English, maybe?
English.
Yeah. Most important.
Yeah, even English.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Before I let you go, do you guys want to share your contact information if some people want to track you down?
Yeah, sure. So you can get a hold of us on both our websites. You have gtservicescpa.com for the global tax side of things. Stateside is
statesideapm.com.
.com.
Is it APM or ATM?
APM.
APM.
Okay.
Administrative Property Management.
Gotcha.
So we work a lot with property managers too. We can set up a program specifically for property managers to help them. Because a lot of times, say you're a big property manager, you have 1,000 properties and you're offering insurance, you probably have to have 2 or 3 full-time people to administer that.
Yeah.
We can do that for you.
We
for
got that.
much
Oh,
easier.
yeah.
So
Okay, that's excellent. And now that I see that there's PM in property management in the title, is there a property management element to actually
Well,
manage?
we basically assist property manager.
Gotcha.
We're administrative. We're an
Gotcha.
administrative property manager. So it gives us an insurable interest.
Okay. All right. I think that it probably popped in a few people's minds whenever you said that. All right.
That's a good question.
Thanks for coming on the show, guys. I really appreciate it once again. We'll probably have you back in another half year or so.
Oh, and one more thing about stateside that we forgot to mention, we
Yeah.
have access to a full-time legal counsel.
Oh.
So if any of our clients need some legal counsel, we have an attorney on board
For a small fee.
for a small fee. Yeah.
Okay. And then is that like state specific, or is that just they'll cover generally everything?
Just generally everything.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Thanks again for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, guys.
Well, our pleasure, Glenn. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We
Thanks.
appreciate it.